Hey world, to anyone who is listening to this, I am hoping all is well with you. Forgive me for the background noise. That is my fan. I have a high velocity fan. But anyways, I hope whoever's listening to this, you are well, you are safe, you are grounded, stable, flourishing, and prosperous. And for those who are listening who are not there yet, I hope in due time you are all of that to the 100th power. I say that for you like I say that for me. So this message I wanted to say and I guess contextualize to bring forth out into the universe is look at the signs, because there are no coincidences in life, and you're not crazy. Look at the signs. Look at how things flow out when you're with your people. Look at how things flow out when you're by yourself. Look at the energy. Look at the universe. Look at your surroundings. Perfect example. Like for me with work, I used to work in sales. And when I used to work in sales, when I was close to making quota, let's say I was one short from making my quota for that time span, I used to have a manager who would listen when I was doing my sales pitch, and they would listen, I guess, to kind of feed me helpful pointers or whatever to help me close the deal, because it was the last day and I was so close. I was one off to getting that quota completed, and I wasn't a bad sales rep, you know. I'm not going to sit here and say I was great, but I was far from bad. I was good. I was decent. And in due time, I probably could have been better, you know. But they would be there with me, you know, trying to give me pointers and all this stuff. And in all honesty, it wasn't pointers that I really needed. But I know in the end, they just wanted to help. They wanted to see me close that deal. And I didn't. I couldn't. And I remember there was a particular time where it happened. I was so close. I was just one off. And that day, that person, that manager stuck with me. And they stuck with me and stuck with me. And every time it looked like I was close, I didn't get it. And then there was a woman who I was, you know, giving my sales pitch to. And just off of the questions that I was asking her, I knew she wasn't gonna be the one to bite. I just knew. And I was ready to let her go and go back fishing for my person. And the manager said, "Oh no, try this." So I rolled my eyes, because I was like, this is gonna waste more time, and this is time I could use to continue fishing till I got my person. But they're my manager, and I didn't want to seem defiant, because the last thing you need to be seen as a dark-skinned black woman is defiant, because then it's hell broke loose. You know them white people. Anyways, so I did the little pointer she gave me. She was like, okay, well, I'd like to hear more about it. So I did all of that just for the person to still say no, basically. And I knew it was going to be a no. I knew. And I'm just like, you are a person with tenure. How the fuck did you not know this was not going to be a no? And I'm a newbie and I can tell it's a no. This makes no sense. I'm like, you can't be this greedy that you can overlook the signs. So then I finally had someone, and it seems like they were saying yes all until they said no. Then some time passed, and once again, it was the same setup. The last day to make quota for that sales time frame. I was one off, and I didn't know that my manager was listening. So everything was going well, and then out of nowhere, something happened. Something happened to their system, and honestly, I think they caught a virus. And I was like, what the fuck? And then they were like, oh my gosh, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know. This never happened to me before. And then I was like, okay, well, let's try it this way. And then after I said that, I see my manager giving me a little tidbit, repeating just what I said. And I'm like, this motherfucker listening. This motherfucker is Mexican pimping me, behind me, watching me, eyeing me, listening to me. And I was like, my gosh. Every time you're on my shit goes south. And then it couldn't fully go through, and I lost that person because they were freaking out about the potential virus. And I wanted to be more helpful, but because of our guidelines, I couldn't. So then I had someone else, and I spoke to them. They said, yes, I got my person. Well, I got my person, and everything went smooth. Smooth. No problem. Because the manager wasn't listening. The manager wasn't there. Sometimes there are some people, you're around them, and shit just doesn't pan out for you. Shit goes south. Shit goes south. Your fruit spoil. The trees bear no fruit, and for the fruit that you did have, they spoil. You locked the door, somehow somebody broke it in, and now all your goods are ransacked and stolen. There are just some people you connect with, and the connection should have never happened. Shit just doesn't pan out for you every time they're around. Now, I'm not saying that the manager is bad luck. Well, I mean, kind of sort of for me when it came to me doing sales. But for all you know, sometimes you don't know how people feel about you. If they secretly don't like you, if they want you to fail. Now, I don't know if that manager feels that way about me. But I'm just saying in general, look at the signs. Because sometimes there'll be a person may genuinely like you. But every time you're around them, look at the signs. You're not making prosperous fruit. Shit just goes sideways. Look at these signs. I remember back in the day when I was a community organizer, I had this project that I was supposed to do. And I was supposed to have the communications department help me. It's a long story to this, but I'll give a little tidbit of this project. I wanted to do something amazing for Black History Month. I wanted to do a virtual poetry slam because, you know, it was still fresh of the pandemic. Oh, I'm sorry, the panini. And the communications department was supposed to help me. I got no help from them. And yet my supervisor, who I knew for a fact didn't like me, probably hated me for whatever reason. Well, I had a reading, and the reader was like, she's jealous of your work ethic. And I'm talking about from the very beginning, before I knew how fucked up in the head this person was. She gave me covert narcissist vibes. She was like, be careful, because this bitch will try to get you fired. And indeed, she did. But anyways, I was trying to get the project off the ground. I had no help, but yet she convinced the regional director at the time to force me to still do this project. So I had to go outside for help. And the project, when I connected with this person to do the project with me, everything was flowing without a hitch. It was some hard days because they worked overnight and I didn't. So I had to stay up overnight with them to complete the project. But it was almost done. But as we got closer to the time frame, then they wanted to take the project, and by they I mean the supervisor and the regional director at the time, and these were black women too, mind you. Disgusting. They wanted to slap their names on the project, so to speak. They wanted to slap their names on the project and basically try to get the glory and say, oh, look at the project we created, when it was just me. When I tell you at the last day, there were so many hiccups. Every time I tried to fix the project, I couldn't every time. And they were like, well, we need to see the project before we can green light. We need this, we need that. Now everything is we. But beforehand, you forced it on me. Long story short, they shut down my event and they said, we'll talk with you later. How about the moment they stopped and they shut it down and they no longer saw it as an object to use for their own personal gain? Shit went through and I finally got the rest of my project completed. The system just wanted to go through. And this was during Mercury retrograde too. So it was a whole lot of fucked up shit. And then I had a reader check on that for me. And I said, it felt like because their energy was on it so strong, it was causing resistance. And then the reader checked on it for me and they're like, yeah, you're right. Too many hands in the basket, so the eggs got spilled. So I say all of this to say, be careful. Look at the signs, because there are no coincidences in life. Sometimes if you're around a certain person and you see every time you trying to get shit done, shit falls wayside, remember that. Every time you're around another person and y'all together, shit flows easy, remember that. Now, I'm not saying because shit falls to the wayside that it was my case where somebody was harboring fucked up emotions about you. But sometimes you can't be sure. I've had people smile in my face and I thought we were good and Gucci. Pull out some tarot cards and I find out they talking shit about me behind my back. I find out they're not happy that I got that promotion, even though they smiled in my face and hugged me and said congratulations. But sometimes you just don't mesh well with people either. It could be several different things. But what I'm saying to you is open your eyes and see the signs. Everything. Mind, body, spirit, soul. See the signs. What's bringing fruit? What's draining the crop? Well, what's draining the river? There we go. What's draining the river and drying it up? What's bringing the crop? What's bringing overflow? And what's dying out your plants, fruit, and vegetables? I hope all that made sense. I'm kind of tired and it's early in the morning. But I just wanted to say that was in my heart to give. I hope all of y'all heard me and received it and pray on it too, because I don't know what's going on with y'all. I can only talk about me. But y'all have a blessed one. Take care. Peace, love, prosperity, protection. Amen. Ashe. Bye-bye.